A friend of mine drove through Kansas once. He said he only saw cows and corn. He called it a flyover state. I asked him if he took the time to stop. He said, "What's a stop for?" I didn't believe him, so I went to Kansas for myself. That's my adventure cat Simon, and that's my friend Lauren. We were on a road trip to Kansas. Our first stop was the Wilson State Park for a little swimming and relaxation. We're ready to go swimming in a Kansas lake. Are you ready? Ready to go swimming? Who would have thought that cats were good swimmers? There's nothing quite like watching the sunset over a beautiful Kansas lake. Ain't that right, Simon? Next, we traveled down to Kanopolis State Park to explore the local cliffs and caves. And Lauren even found herself a good luck charm. After breaking a sweat, we raced over to Indian Creek Bison Ranch in Haven, Kansas. We are here on a ranch that has live American bison that are native to this land. Simon didn't know what to make of these strange creatures. After the ranch, we drove down to Hutchinson, Kansas, home of some of the most beautiful sunsets. While I was there, I got to raise a sail over Cheney Reservoir, a body of water that felt more like an ocean. It was pretty clear that Simon was the captain of this boat. When I first got here, I was quite surprised to see how many sailboats that are actually here in Kansas. After sailing, we embarked onward to Benton, Kansas, to fly in an original World War II Stearman biplane. It's one thing to drive through the Kansas flatlands, it's another thing to see the plains from above. Woo! I gotta say, that's definitely one way to cool off during a hot summer day. Our next stop was to downtown Wichita to experience the Riverfest, Kansas' longest running festival. Simon even met a fan along the way. During Riverfest, we went to get some iced coffees and even played some Jenga. Can you guess who won the game? Oh, Simon! Lauren decided to go off and explore on her own. She discovered the Wichita police horses, tumbling kids, jet skis, and even parkour. Last but not least, we mustered up our courage to jump from the Kansas sky. If you want the full perspective of Kansas, then there's no better way to experience it. As soon as you jump, you're immersed in that feeling of being alive and you have no time to have any more fear. It just kind of is blown away. That was amazing. Right. I realized something in those fields that day. That Kansas is way more than a flyover state. There really is no place like Kansas.